In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss object relations theory. So object relations theory describes the development of the mind in relation to others. It describes how the child's relationship with the primary caregiver actually influences the way in which a child will relate to other people later on in life. And the people that you want to make a connection with in order to get questions right on your exams and to score high on your psychiatry boards or PRATE or SHELF or whatever is Melanie Klein and Wincott. So you want to know Melanie Klein, Wincott, object relations theory. Now let's look a little bit at what Melanie Klein herself did and what her contribution was to object relations theory. So Melanie Klein described this so-called depressive position, and it's achieved as early as 3 to 6 months of age, where the infant is able for the first time to experience others as a whole. They're able to understand opposing qualities, and they're able to understand good versus bad, and seeing that good and bad exist within every person. Now, Wincott, he actually did a little bit more with object relations theory. He contributed to object relations theory with the description of the infant-mother dyad. And what he described in this infant-mother dyad was several parts. He described the holding environment, the transitional object, good enough mother, and the true self. So in the infant-mother dyad, what happens, or essentially, is that the mother provides consistent parenting, and thus the infant's able to be provided a holding environment that's safe for the infant to grow and to be autonomous. So with consistent mothering, there can be this development of a holding environment, and in this holding environment, the infant feels safe. The infant feels able to grow and able to be autonomous without any thoughts of issues or without any problems. In the good enough mother, basically what he said was the good enough mother provides consistent care most of the time, but at some points she makes mistakes, and these mistakes are perceived by the infant as failing. But what it does do for the infant is it teaches the infant that occasional failures are part of life, and they don't discount the caregiver's love or reliability. This helps to prepare the infant for the depressive position described by Melanie Klein, and also helps them to develop a true sense of self. The infant learns to experience a wide range of emotions, and more importantly, the infant learns to manage the emotions. The transitional object, that represents the primary caregiver, safety, and love. They help the infant to separate from the caregiver. So essentially, a classic example of transitional object would be something like a teddy bear or something along those lines that the child will carry with them when they are separate from the primary caregiver, so that they feel as though the primary caregiver is there. It represents love, it represents safety. And this allows them to kind of separate and start to become more autonomous. The next person to talk about in attachment theory is Bowlby's attachment theory. John Bowlby basically described attachment theory